Chip.
Welcome back to the Wrestling-Related Podcast, where the topics are related to wrestling, the three of us are related to each other, and sometimes our patience runs thin with technology. Hey, how you doing, fellas?
Squishy,
Living the dream.
Squishy.
My
Not sure
microphone
whose dream it is.
There we go.
Quit fiddling with your thing.
We have got a pay-per-view, the final pay-per-view of the year, coming up this Saturday. AEW Worlds End, and we have not talked about AEW in some time. It's been a minute or three since we have kind of talked about AEW.
Yes.
Before we jump into the predictions, what have you guys been thinking of things that have been going on inside AEW, things that we haven't really chatted too much about it, caught up on everything. I know this time of year can be very busy, and maybe you're like me, and sometimes you're just having a struggle to get everything in, so you go over to the AEW YouTube channel, and you look through the videos, and they wind up giving like a 7-minute highlight of what happened on Rampage, and then you just scroll through that 7 minutes, and you're like, oh, that match looks good. I will go back, and I'll actually watch that match, but I don't need to watch the rest of the show, because there wasn't anything else of value on it.
No, that's what the fast forward button's for.
Oh, well, yeah, but I did that once too, and that wound up taking me like still 42 minutes.
So for those that are just listening, we just jumped on here a few minutes late because I couldn't contain my my enjoyment of the idea of finally talking about AEW, because for the last 3 weeks, almost a month, I've been chomping at the bit to discuss the Continental Classic. Because like I was telling these guys right before we hit record, I was at a point where we weren't seeing as much of the learning tree. We didn't have any Timeless Tony Storm. I like the new gimmick. And she's still hugely entertaining. And
Old gimmick.
They were throwing in a bunch. Sure, whatever. And they throwing in a bunch of the other stuff that I didn't care about. I was spending too much time fast forwarding, trying to find something worth watching. And then the Continental Classic kicked in. And then we're seeing some matchups, and to the point where I've actually been watching Rampage. It's good stuff. Some of these matchups got me on the edge of my seat. So really good. A big fan of Brody King and Beast Mortis right now, but I mean, some of these guys are just bringing it.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
Dustin, thoughts?
I think the improvement all started when they stopped putting Hook on TV, and then everything started ramping up. So I mean, yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
No, I have been thoroughly impressed. Loving the matchups.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Ricochet is not the Uber baby that WWE tried to make him out to be, and he's taken that slight heel turn, but yet the Hurt Syndicate doesn't really want him, and it's just like he's like lost in the shuffle, but not lost in the shuffle because he's still wrestling really well. So I love the toilet paper thing from last week, and it was just
hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Did you see that match with him against Brody King though?
Yeah,
he was getting booed all over the place. The crowd hated him going over.
That's just because Brody King is over so much right now. I mean, the whole House of Black. I mean, you got Julia Hart came back, and everybody popped for Julia. It's starting to get good again. Starting to get really good. Yeah.
Why is
enjoying
Josh's head down? What's he doing?
There was something that came across. You were talking about different people that you've been enjoying in AEW. And one of the unsung heroes that I absolutely adore is Harley Cameron. And, and I don't know what it was. It was a backstage vignette or promo that I had heard.
Ridiculous.
And I think it was Renee that's like, so Harley, you're still trying to get your first victory inside AEW in 2024. And she's like, it's so elusive. It's just like...
And then later on in that one, who came up to her in that interview? Somebody else came in and poked their head in there. Oh, it was
Penelope Ford.
Penelope Ford.
Yeah.
And I got your back. There's something on my back? Something on my back? And then Renee hyped it up. She goes, no, there's nothing on you. Ooh! And she goes, what?
Yeah, so
Harley Cameron's hilarious.
I was just looking it up to try to find out, because every time, hey, this is the world of professional wrestling. When I hear a statistic, I don't believe most of them, because WWE has trained me to disbelieve everything that comes out of the mouth of Michael Cole, because he can never remember how many U.S. championship title shots that Humberto has actually had. And I think he's had like 5 of them, even though he said that the one that he just had was the first time he's ever went after a singles title.
But that all started when Vince McMahon turned around and said Hulk Hogan was the first to slam Andre. He wasn't.
This is true.
Stan Hansen, Kamala.
Who's Humberto?
Yes.
Never
So I was wondering about Harley Cameron's record, and I'm looking it up, and in 2024, her singles record is 0 wins, 16 losses, no draws.
Wow.
Now, hasn't she had like at least 15 of those 16 all within the last 6 months?
Going back to May. 3 in May, 1 in June, 1 July, 4 in August, 2 September, 3 October, 4 November, 2 December.
I was going to say, she's been...
That's all of her matches. She did have, I think, a couple tag teams and 1 trios match in there as well, so that's where the numbers are slightly off. But yes, yes, 16 or 0 and 16 in singles. And
is she going to have a match at World's End?
3 spam calls in like 2 seconds.
4.
We're
not. It's not been announced, but we only have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches announced. So there's still room for 4 more, at least.
My pre-prediction is if Harley Cameron has a match at World's End, a singles match,
she wins.
Harley Cameron will win.
She wins. She's over.
Yep.
I say no. I say she loses that one, and then she's like, there's always next year. And she gets her first win on the January 1st episode when it streams to Max.
They need to put her with the Outrunners. I'm just saying.
It would be hilarious. But the Outrunners are faces, and Harley is a heel.
No, she isn't.
She
Says
is
you.
100% a heel, and we love her for it.
Not.
She plays the heel character even though nobody believes it. But she tries, and it's hilarious. I absolutely love it. But yeah, AEW's been it's been really good. Love the Continental Classic. It seems like they really started to get back to let's let the wrestling be wrestling.
Speak for itself.
And instead of trying to force some storylines, it feels like some of them they are slow building. You know, taking a page out of what WWE's been doing and saying, let's just build these slowly and see what happens and not try to cram everything into a week. And so, like, when you see Ricochet that he's trying to, you know, he's got the business card and he's trying to butter him up, and then it's like, oh, yeah, we gave it to you, but now we're going to rip it up. And it's like, it's slowly, and yes, it feels like the crowd is turning on him, and it feels like that's by design. It feels like, it 100% feels like we are being worked to start booing him, and they've been just planting a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit here. And
I think with the specifically the Brody King match, the fact that he was in there with Brody King, he was not working like a heel. Everything bell to bell. It was just himself. Wasn't trying to go over the top, too tough or whatnot. But the second that he went over, man, the crowd was. They're like talking about, the crowd's cheering him on. No, you're looking out in the crowd and everybody thumbs down, booing. Just there's like one guy clapping out of the entire crowd, and I'm like, yeah.
But even from some of
flip
the
gears if you're not already planning it.
Yeah, even from some of the interviews that he's done off camera and outside of the company, there's little things that he's saying and doing that is just like he's trying to stir the pot. Like, you see him on social media, and it's like he's antagonizing the fans, and he's doing this intentionally. So when they start booing him, it's like we're all playing into his hand, but he's not. It's not.
I don't watch that.
Yeah, it's not the typical. Well, AEW's got a ton of the internet wrestling community that are out there, so they're seeing stuff that's on TV as well as off, and that's where it feels like they said, okay, we're going to go ahead and let Ricochet go heel. We're going to do one of the things that Vince never wanted to do and that Ricochet wants to do. So let's go ahead and do that. But let's let the fans think that they're actually the ones that wanted the idea, so that way they'll get behind it a little bit more instead of us just force feeding, here's the monster heel, or high flying heel. That's kind of what it feels like.
Maybe, and for me, maybe it's just that I don't subscribe to all that stuff. I don't watch all that stuff. Maybe the fans are digging into it, and that's why they are turning on him. Me personally, I just, I don't like Mr. Flippy Flippy. I mean,
so basically, what you're saying,
he's impressive. I just don't buy it.
So basically, what we're figuring out here is Corey is the fan who is making his own decision, but you're not following it, but you are. Because what he's doing is making you hate him and not like him even more, which means he's doing his job as a heel to get you.
I didn't like him in the Fed either.
You didn't like Prince Puma? He was awesome.
No,
Prince Puma was awesome.
Boring. There was no personality. His ring work was a lot of chumpy, flippy, twirly, and that's impressive as hell because not everybody can do it, and it's fun to watch. But when he made it to AEW and he's coming out like he's something special, it's like, you were lucky to be a mid-carder over there. Why are you talking smack now?
I don't know. And I love him. I think he's doing great, and I'm enjoying this slow little playing with the heel character. Now, granted, to me, you put him in with Brody King, the fans are either going to look at as a face, which that means whoever's against Brody King or any of the House of Black, they better be an uber face for them to be cheered like a face. Otherwise, they're going to get cheered as a heel. And that's just kind of
House of Black. House of Black has been
over,
cheered for too much.
They were over, and it doesn't matter. You can try to turn them heel. Doesn't matter. They're over.
Right.
And with Julia Hart's return, it's like, I don't know what they're doing with that when they're trying to get Jamie Hayter to be over as the face, and it's like, sorry, we're not buying it.
Gave up on it.
It's like, we're not buying it. It's Julia Hart. And that DDT.
I was cheering her so much.
Jake would be proud.
Yes, he would.
Let's just quick and easy. That is what a small statured wrestler should do. Not a little gory, flippy twist and try to. No, you don't do that. Julia's Heart, a simple DDT looked more devastating than what Mercedes Moné tries to do with that moneymaker or whatever it is.
Yep.
When it's done right, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So it was good. I liked it. Anything else that really jumps out from AEW that we want to chat about before we get into our predictions?
I will say this: the Continental Classic, the match between. Why can't I think of his name?
Okada.
Will Ospreay Jr. No.
Kyle Fletcher.
Kyle Fletcher and Reach for the Stars.
Mark Briscoe.
Was such a good match.
Such a good match.
And the fact that Briscoe went over, I'm like, what? What? And I was literally speechless and happy at the same time. Love that match.
Us trying to predict before the final go-home shows of the pay-per-view, and we've got to try to predict who's in the semifinals as well as in the finals of this, and they're throwing things like that, swerving things around. I don't know. This is going to be so difficult. And then
it's a guess.
And then we add on top of like that match was great. What about the Okada Beast Mortos match?
I loved it.
Loved it.
One of the best Okada matches I think he's had since he's been in. Like that was just that was so good. And I was very skeptical going in on that. I was like, "Oh, I don't know how this is going to work
or not.
With Okada's style and Beast Morto's style." And they complemented each other so well. It was so good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it finally dawned on me how to describe Beast Mortos. He is bigger. Well, he is stronger than he should be at that size. He is faster than he should be at that size. He is more athletic and acrobatic than he should be. He is tougher than he should be. It's like, what?
Is he kind of like the Lucha Libre Brock Lesnar then?
Libre?
The Lucha Libre Brock Lesnar, where he is faster, stronger, and more athletic than he should be for a guy that size.
But yet he's also stronger. I mean, when he does the press Samoan slam
off the top
just off the ropes.
The ropes, yeah.
Pop him up in the air and
then the Samoan drop.
Samoan slam in the Samoan drop on Okada. It's like Okada's not little.
He's not a little guy
by any means.
No.
What's going on?
Well, that's why the way you were the way you were describing it with the speed, the athleticism, the body control, the strength, and I'm just like
all of it.
It sounds like Brock Lesnar, especially when he first got into the Fed, because here's a guy that he's chucking Mark Henry around and the Big Show, and he's like, you guys are nothing to me.
Right.
So and that's where I think with Beast Mortos,
where that comparison comes in,
it's just like,
man,
throw a mask on him and shrink him down a little bit. Yeah.
If they can get somebody to be a spokesperson for him that could really, really incite a riot, then he's off to the races.
Well, and that's the thing. They brought in Jake Roberts to do that, but he's not doing it. They tie his hands. Let Jake speak up. Jake can work the mic better than anybody.
Time.
Yeah.
His voice has gone so bad anymore. It's almost painful listening to his voice, even on interviews, because it's not that he's talking softly. It's just like he's had some road miles on that voice.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
But let him ride.
Yeah, it's been great.
Let him ride.
Great.
Let's
get to these predictions.
Good stuff. All right. We'll get to predictions. We've got AEW Worlds End, Saturday, December 28th. It is coming up. And let's run straight into it. You guys know how these predictions go. We'll start off. I'll start off. I think I am actually, if I remember right.
I don't even know who's in it.
I think I am defending my crown. I am defending my crown. I think I am the reigning and defending, if I remember right. Yep. That's right.
Sure.
So we'll see if you guys can take it. And on top of that, we also have how many correct match predictions for the whole year are we getting. And I'm currently sneaking a little bit of a lead on that one as well. So you guys got some catching up to do. Bastion Booger is not on here. We'll start off with this one. I think I've got the easiest one to predict. It is the TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander, number 2, and Mercedes Moné is my prediction. I'm ready for somebody to take the belt from her. I just don't think it's going to be Chris Statlander.
Okay, and I'm going to go complete opposite. I'm saying Chris Statlander. Because
got to try to get them wins.
Mercedes Moné has ran her limit on this TBS championship. She's just not, she's pulling a Jade Cargill on it, and it's getting so boring it's not even funny. So, Chris Statlander.
Oh, why you gotta be mean like that? Pulling a Jade Cargill?
She is. It's
That's
boring.
mean. You're just,
It's boring watching
Oh,
her.
shoot.
mean.
She was boring week 1.
You're just mean.
Agreed. Corey, your
I
prediction.
I don't know what's going to happen. However, I got nothing to lose, so I will say Statlander. Let's go.
Okay.
Because I just want to see Monet lose so bad.
All right. Before I get to where I want to go, I figure we'll give a few easy ones. We'll get us warmed up before we get into the Continental Classic. So, Dustin, let's go to the next title that is up for grabs. It is the AEW International Championship. Champion Konosuke Takeshita taking on Powerhouse Hobbs. What say you?
I say Taka Michinoku wins again. He will continue his reign. Takeshita.
Oh, hey, I don't even have that on my little list here.
You should
What?
put it on your list.
What?
So that makes it 9.
You
5
still
more
got
to come.
6 more to go.
No, I think
Right.
that's it. I just had the wrong number over here on my spreadsheet, keeping track of things.
I'm not a
Yep.
huge Hobbs fan. I mean, he's powerful. He's got a look, but the problem is he had too much of an ego to start with, and it burnt me to begin with. So, I'm a Takeshita. Takeshita's going to win it. That's an easy one for me.
Going with Takeshita on that one. Corey.
Yep.
Takeshita. This is an easy one.
I completely agree.
Don't care how many muscles you got. You get caught with that elbow, and it's going to rally your feelings.
Yeah, that being said, I'm enjoying this version of Powerhouse Hobbs more than his previous one. I was very soured on the previous rendition of it. I like what they're doing with him. I'm not bought into him beating Takeshita yet. Give it another 2-3 months, maybe. Build him up a little bit more, maybe. But just coming straight out the gate, I'm not ready for it.
And you guys know me. I love me some AA Arn Anderson, and I love spine busters, especially when they're done and done properly. Triple H could do it. Arn could do it. You know, even I've seen some of the females do a good spine buster. Hobbs cannot do a good spine buster.
The Rock has
it's
a
not.
good spine buster.
The Rock has a good spine buster.
It's a different one, but it's a good one. It's fluid.
Difference is Hobbs picks him up like he's going to get the turn, but then he doesn't do. He kind of does a 1/8 turn and then drops him because he can't get that full spin. It's like he's too muscle bound. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Corey, you get to lead off the next women's match. It is for the AEW Women's World Championship. Mariah May against Thunder Rosa in the Tijuana Street Fight.
Cool. I'm going to say Mariah May because Thunder Rosa is garbage. Garbage. Hang on. What's Spanish for garbage? El garbage.
Do not Google translate that one. I'm not sure that's accurate. I'm
I
also
might be off.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with Mariah May for no other reason than it must be timeless Toni Storm that defeats Mariah May to regain this championship. That is what it needs to be, and she hasn't turned timeless yet. So we're still holding off. That's my prediction.
And I am going with Mariah May as well, just because, for no other reason, Thunder Rosa forgot to put makeup on the lower half of her face.
Well, she only puts it on like half of her face. She does like the left half or the right half, or apparently.
But she only did the
bottom.
top half. She forgot the bottom half.
Yeah,
Because she normally looks like that.
I'm tracking. All right.
I will say this about Thunder Rosa. When Toni Storm came out, the one funny, cool thing she did was having a sign that said WTF.
That was funny. That was
it.
She didn't write that, though.
You know, if she would let Sammy Guevara pull out
never
those and write out all of her signs for her promos, the world would be a much better place.
Absolutely.
Where's ECW's sign guy? Bring that guy back.
Maybe.
Sign guy Dudley.
All right. This
the
should
one.
be an interesting one. Let's get into the Continental Classic, okay?
Ooh.
Let's try to figure this out. On Saturday,
Says,
there is the semifinals, so we have the 2 from the Gold League and the 2 from the Blue League to then determine who are the 2 that go into the finals to become the winner of the Continental Classic. So, this could be really interesting. Currently, here are the current standings as of today where the Gold League is setting. So, we have got in the lead with 9 points is Claudio Castagnoli and Ricochet.
gross.
Everybody's still got in the very bottom is Commander. He has not won yet. And he will be taking on, I believe that is Claudio, is who he has to face this week. So to me, that means Claudio wins. So he's got 12 points at that point. So I think Claudio's definitely going into the semifinal there. And then you've got Ricochet against Darby Allin. I don't know, is Ricochet and Darby Allin?
So that could put somebody up there or put somebody over. But when you get to the next one, Ospreay and Brody King, somebody's walking away with 9 right away there too.
Yep.
Right. So, yeah, you could either have Ricochet beat Darby Allin, which is possible, and if that happens, then it's going to be Ricochet against Claudio, when it comes down to the finals. But
so what's Claudio got left? Commander?
He's got Commander.
Oh, that's an
he's got a night off.
That's an easy one.
Yeah,
so that's going to be 12.
I think he's automatically in there.
Right.
And I don't know. I kind of feel like the way that the finals are going to go is I think it's going to wind up coming down to, I think it's going to be Ricochet and Claudio.
Really?
I think, I feel Ricochet and Claudio because I think you've got Ricochet versus Darby Allin. That's the match. And I think that it's going to be the Death Riders somehow interfering against Darby Allin and costing him the match so that he doesn't go in and that Ricochet could. That's about the only way I see it, because otherwise they're going to get stuck with either Will Ospreay or with Brody King going with against Darby Allin.
Nine.
Yeah.
You're going to have 3 people with 9. And
whereas if Ricochet winds up winning, then it's those 2 get 12. So I think it's going to be my prediction. That match is Claudio versus Ricochet, and I believe Claudio winds up winning it. So I'm putting Claudio into the finals from the semifinal match of the Gold League. That's my first prediction. Dustin, what have you got for the Gold League?
So I'm going through here. Does a tie help or hurt anybody? Number one, Claudio's going to get 12. So it's going to be Claudio and somebody. Because there's no way Commander's going to end up, getting a draw.
Upsetting.
Or an upset. That's not happening. So it's Ricochet and Darby
what do they do if there are what would they do? All right, let's play this hypothetical out, okay? What happens if Darby beats Ricochet? He gets 9. Ricochet's got 9.
Right.
But what happens if Darby actually interferes on Claudio instead, so Commander actually gets the win, and then he's got 9? And then you're going to get either Will Ospreay or Brody King that has 9. You've got 4 of them that have 9. Do we get a 4-way for a semifinal match?
You would have to. You would have to turn around and or a 3-way dance for if there was only 3 of them.
I mean, I would think that's how they would have to do it. I don't know. Maybe somebody watching or listening to this podcast knows the answer to that.
What is 3 the most points that you can get?
Yeah.
Yes.
You get 1 point for a draw, 3 points for a win.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's it. 0 for a loss. So, okay, I'm going to look at the matches themselves, and I'm going to predict the matches. Ricochet and Darby Allin.
Yep.
If there's going to be anybody having a draw, I'm going with that match being a draw.
So that would be Darby at 7, Ricochet at 10.
10. Yeah. That's what I'm going to go with there. Commander and Claudio, it's Claudio. That's no big deal there.
That puts him at 12.
Ospreay and Brody. That's going to be
That's going to be a banger.
But you've got a 6-6 on that, so the winner would only have 9.
And Ospreay has been on a losing streak lately.
He has been on a big losing streak.
Well, he had a long winning streak for a while, so...
He got a win over Claudio. He got a win over Commander.
So realistically, unless Darby Allin wins, it's still going to be Claudio and Ricochet. No matter what happens in anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing else that can... Yeah. So
Darby getting the win is about the
Ricochet.
only way of doing that, and then that makes it a 3-way, a 4-way. I don't know what way. I don't know, because then I don't know if... Yeah, I don't know if they would come down to, say, if it was 9-9, if it was Darby Allin had 9 and Ricochet had 9, if then they say, oh, but Darby beat Ricochet already to get his 9, so Darby automatically advances, you know, in the way like the NFL does with, you know, your conference, a divisional. It's like, I don't know if they would do that or not.
But the difference is Darby lost to Brody King and Ricochet beat Brody King.
Right.
So that doesn't really fly either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going with Ricochet and Claudio on that one.
Okay, so then who do you think wins that and goes into the Continental Classic, the finals?
Because you picked Claudio, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'll go the opposite. I'm going to say Ricochet.
Okay.
Yep.
I can see that happening. So,
because that'll help with his heel turn. That'll also help with him potentially getting back in the good graces of the Hurt Syndicate. Possibly. Yep. So, yeah, I'm going with Ricochet. Ricochet, Claudio, then Ricochet. Lock it in.
Okay. Corey?
Cool. I'm saying Claudio's walking away. Short, sweet. We've already been debating over who's winning what and possibility of this and that and the other thing. At the end of the day, who he's going to face, I don't know. I don't care. Claudio's
well, you might need to guess that. If it comes down to a tiebreaker, we might need that.
No, when it gets really to it, I mean, it's tiebreaker or nothing. I mean, if you get into a situation, whether it's Darby and Ricochet, I do not really care. I would say that they would more likely than not have all 4 of those guys at some point in time being all 9s, just to make it more entertaining, and then make it a 4-way to see who's.
And Claudio walks away with the 4-way.
And Claudio would still walk away. I would still plan that out.
Okay.
Because right now, I don't know. He's the most well-rounded, solid guy they got. He's had a hell of a match with every single person on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's got Commander left. I mean,
right.
He's been killing it. So,
and he's a selfless wrestler too.
Criticizing.
He's not about him. It's not about me. It's not about what I do.
Right.
Yeah,
and he plays to everybody else's strengths.
Yep.
And when you got somebody to put a belt on or even put in contention for that just makes good business.
Yeah.
Because he's just so good and so well-rounded. I mean, there's only...
2 minutes, Corey. Hurry up.
Yeah.
We got more matches.
I mean, seriously, because when you take a look at the 2 high flyers, put those 2 together, and it might be exciting, but once you've seen it, you don't want to see the rematch a week later. Claudio, you can have him in a 7 series and with anybody, and it's going to come out being fun to watch. So,
yeah. Okay. All right, let's go over to the Blue League then. Dustin, you get to start this one off. Here's where the current standings are. We've got Okada at 7 points, tied with Garcia at 7 points. And then in the lead, you have Kyle Fletcher with 9 and Mark Briscoe with 9. Shelton Benjamin at 6, and the Beast Mortos has got nothing. Now, Mark Briscoe and the Beast Mortos have no matches left. That's all they're going to get. So there's a couple options that people could tie or win out. Shelton Benjamin has to go against Okada, and Daniel Garcia has to go against Kyle Fletcher. Those are the matches this week.
Oh, crap.
So if Kyle Fletcher wins, that puts him at 12. If Daniel Garcia wins, that puts him at 10, which either one of those, that puts them at the leaderboard. If Okada beats Shelton Benjamin, he's at 10, and then that puts him at the lead. If Shelton Benjamin wins, that means he's at 9. And currently, he would be tied, so I don't think there's a path that Shelton Benjamin could actually win out. Because, Daniel Garcia or Okada if they wind up winning, the closest he could do is we could have a tie where one person has like 10, and then 3 of them have 9. Or a couple that have one that had 12, 2 that have 9.
So the only person really that they're pushing as a baby face in this whole thing, is Garcia and Briscoe. Briscoe can't do anything else.
Correct.
The rest they're pushing his heels.
Yeah,
Beast Mortos.
But Mortos came up skunk. Nothing.
So that's 10.
How did that happen?
Okay, so I think Kyle Fletcher's going to win against Garcia.
Okay.
I'm hoping to God he does. Thank you, God. Please do that.
Garcia have that many points.
So then it's just a matter of Okada and Shelton Benjamin. I love me some Shelton Benjamin. But do I think he can beat Okada? No, I don't. I'm going with Okada and Kyle Fletcher.
Okada.
Out of those two, I think Kyle Fletcher.
Oh, okay.
But then that puts Kyle Fletcher against Ricochet, right?
Right.
Yes, for yours.
That one would be.
That would be a fun match.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. At this point in time, I don't think I'm planning on winning anything.
This is the hardest prediction I think we've had yet, because there are so many variables, and it's like, I mean, last week we had a little bit of an issue, or a week before, with the women's U.S. Championship, but hey, AI was doing all the heavy lifting on that. We didn't have to do it.
Right.
This one we've
got
to use.
They were wrong.
Well, this is true.
All right, it's the ding dong that book the finishes on all this stuff. Great matches, just some of the finishes are just whacked. Yeah, okay. Man, I was really hoping for another way of Briscoe to squeak something out. Nope. Okay. Yeah, I do not.
The only other way that Briscoe could.
No way.
Okay,
No
here
way.
there is a way that Briscoe could potentially squeeze something out here. If Briscoe beats, or let's say Briscoe's done, so he's at 9. If
Benjamin beats Okada.
If Kyle Fletcher and he's Daniel Garcia, if they draw, Fletcher has 10, Garcia has 9.
8.
Oh yeah, Fletcher has 10 and Garcia has 8. Yep.
8.
Which Briscoe's still more than that. And then if you had Benjamin and Okada, that would wind up being a tie. And then there's 8 and 7 on there. So Mark Briscoe still winds up with a 9. and Kyle Fletcher would have 10. Like, that's the only way that I think Mark Briscoe goes in, but you have to have 2 more ties, time limit draws for that.
Ooh. I don't see that happening.
No, I don't either.
It's the only option I see where the math would work out for Mark Briscoe to make it in there.
Yucky.
Or if Shelton Benjamin won outright, then it's him and Mark Briscoe that have 9, and Kyle Fletcher has 10, or he could even
get a heck of a 3-way.
Or he could even win. Like if Shelton Benjamin wins and beats Okada,
then he's at
Benjamin has 9, Mark Briscoe's at 9, and then if Kyle Fletcher beats Garcia, he's at 12. So then it's a guy with 12 and 2 with 9, and then it's like, 3-way for that semifinal.
That'd be fun to watch.
Like, those are the only options I see for Mark Briscoe to move forward, if that's what you were trying to figure out.
Sure, let's do that.
Okay.
S and G's. Roll the dice on it.
Okay, so
I'm not winning nothing, so I don't care. Let's go.
You're saying that it's a
Benjamin over Okada.
Yeah, whatever.
Is what you're saying.
3-way with Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe, and Shelton Benjamin.
Sure.
And who do you think wins that one?
Briscoe goes over.
Briscoe.
This is fantasy booking. End of year fantasy booking. Let's go.
Right. So Corey's saying that Claudio wins in and here's where it comes down to you now, Corey, because you get to pick what the final is. You have got Claudio winning in a 4-way and Briscoe winning in a 3-way, going against each other in the finals.
Rock and roll.
And you and who's winning between Jay Briscoe or Mark Briscoe and Claudio Castagnoli?
It ain't
Briscoe, buddy.
Okay.
It'll be fun to watch.
All right, so we'll go back here because I still had to give my Blue League, but I figured while we had Corey there, we'll do that. So for my Blue League here, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I think that Okada's going to beat Benjamin, so that puts him at 10. And I don't see Daniel Garcia beating Kyle Fletcher. Do I? I mean, we kind of need a face in there, but if they draw, does Daniel Garcia beat Kyle Fletcher? I don't know. They've really been pushing him.
Gross.
They've been pushing Fletcher, too.
They have been. I think we've got Okada versus, I'm going to say Daniel Garcia. I think they both pick up a win, and those two win. So I think it's Okada versus Daniel Garcia in that one, and I say Okada goes over Garcia, which then for the championship, because I've now got Claudio versus Okada, and I say Claudio winds up winning that one. And we have a new Continental Champion, even though, how it would be amazing if Okada winds up winning it a second time. That would be hilarious. But I'm going to go with Claudio just because I want him to win that one. Dustin, you have got Ricochet going over Claudio in the gold, and Kyle Fletcher going over Okada in the blue. So in your finals, you've got Ricochet versus Fletcher. And you say who wins that one?
Oh, I didn't say that yet?
Oh. Ricochet or Kyle Fletcher? You're the one that chose them.
Between those two, that should be easy.
Fletcher.
Thank you.
From those two, I would have picked Ricochet. But
yeah, you've been wrong.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so now that we've got
we're
that,
all gonna be wrong on this.
Ain't nobody gonna be right. No.
Yeah.
Not 100%.
Yep.
Nope.
All right. Let's get back to something that
Garcia will all stop watching.
All right, let's get back to this one. The Dynamite Diamond Ring. We have got MJF putting the Diamond Ring up against Adam Cole, apparently.
Whose pick is this?
Mine. And you know what? I don't think I've ever called a mulligan, but I'm calling a mulligan on this one. I need some time to think. This is the one that I'm struggling with. So I'll pass that off. Yep.
Going with Adam Cole.
Okay.
Baby.
Adam Cole, baby. Corey.
I have no explanation.
No explanation.
No.
I think Adam Cole's, they're still ramping him back in from having so much time out. The only way he regains any status that he had before injury is for him to truly humiliate MJF. And yeah, MJF's over no matter what he does. So he doesn't lose anything by losing. He doesn't win anything by winning. He's cruising. So I'm going to go with Adam Cole.
And he's had the ring for how many years now? 4?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Dead air.
I don't know, because like this is hard for me. Sure. Because they do need to put something to Adam Cole. He needs something more to kind of get things going. MJF is always over. But there needs to be something that kind of sparks this feud if they're going to keep it. Like if the feud is over, then you just get MJF that retains. If Adam Cole winds up winning it, it drags it out a little bit more.
So Adam Cole needs to win it and then melt down the ring.
That would be hilarious. Man, I don't know. And this, I enjoy these both, but I just don't. Or
Adam Cole uses the ring to win.
Well, I was thinking MJF uses the ring to win, because he does it. Like the ring is so synonymous.
But he's done it so many times
with him.
It would be funny if Adam did it.
It would be, but I don't know. I have a hard time going against MJF, so I'm just going to pick MJF on this one.
Okay.
That's
shocker.
Yep. All right, and then we've got the AEW World Championship match. It is a 4-way: Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page versus Orange Cassidy versus Switchblade Jay White.
My pick.
It is your pick.
Sure.
All right, it's not going to be Orange Cassidy. It's not going to be Hangman. So now it's between Jay White and Moxley. And Jay's time is coming, but it is not yet. So I'm going Moxley.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
I think that's the easiest bet.
And
all valid reasons.
I would absolutely agree. It would be a little bit harder for me to say that if any one of these were up against him in a singles match. But the fact that they do have it in a 4-way, it's much easier for Jon Moxley to come out of this and set up feuds with the others, which I think they've already been teasing at that, especially with Hangman and Jay White again.
Yep.
So, yep, I think that's what we've got. I do think it is a case that Jon Moxley retains, and he holds on to that belt for a little while until we can find somebody, likely Darby Allin. It feels like they're setting up to try to take that off of him. I'm with you. That just doesn't feel like who I want. Who would you guys want to see take over?
So
I've only got one name that I know
there's going to be another. You know, there's going to be another match.
Yeah,
at least one other, and the other match is going to be Lashley against Swerve.
That's
going
Swerve.
to happen at World's End.
Yeah,
that's going to happen. So, do we predict that one now? Because you know it's going to happen. It's going to be a match on next Saturday or this Saturday.
I don't know. Do either of you think that Swerve actually beats Lashley? Because I don't. I think that's easier to predict than any of these that was on here. I think that's easier to predict than Mercedes Moné retaining. But then again, I'm the only one that thought she would retain. I think it's easier than Mariah May retaining. I think it's easier than Takeshita retaining. Because I think that's something they want to build out. I think it's something they want to drag out a little bit because it's kind of fun. And if you have Swerve come straight out and win. Yeah.
What has Swerve done since he lost to Lashley last time?
Made a new album.
He hasn't been on TV.
Not much.
I don't know.
A little bit here and there.
Not much.
Some promos.
So then why...
So your question, I'm sorry.
Did he get a spot on the pay-per-view?
Yeah, I don't think... I mean, that one I think is just a draw across the board, unless you guys think that Swerve's actually going to beat Bobby Lashley.
I don't think he's going to beat, but I think it's going to be thrown out for some reason.
Yeah.
They're still going to have a match at World's End, but it's going to be thrown out for some reason. Whether it's a double count out, a disqualification, whatever it is. It's going to happen.
I don't...
In my opinion.
To me, I don't know if that's actually going to be on the pay-per-view. That feels like that match they want to happen, but I think they're building that out for later. I think they're trying to drag this out a little bit more and build into the storyline a little bit more. I mean, yeah, they're getting at each other.
Matches left.
Yeah, we do have 3 or 4 matches, but you know how AEW goes. I mean, they're going to wind up throwing in like 3 different matches that are just on the 0 hour. And you're probably going to have like the Scissor Gang against, I don't know, the Learning Tree or something, you know, that hasn't really been on much. Most of those last 3 matches are going to be your Rampage type of stuff. So we're going to get Top Flight versus Top Flight Light.
Oh, yeah. We haven't even talked about
those 2 jabronis.
Yeah. No, because it's going to be either Top Flight or Top Flight Light against Private Party, and they're going to keep it on Private Party.
And I don't like any of them. Yeah.
Because I think, wasn't that the match last week where it was Top Flight against Top Flight Light of Action Andretti and Leo Rush? And it was the winner, which I think was Andretti and Leo Rush, that are supposed to have a title shot at some point. I just don't know when the title shot was because I wasn't paying attention.
I don't know. There's a whole lot of this.
And they do have the New Year's show, the Fight for the Fallen that's coming up. So they're going to save some of the matches for that one. Which, hey, by the way, could we be getting Adam Copeland back for that?
I hope so.
Could we be getting Adam Copeland back because you have the Death Riders that like kidnapped FTR, and now FTR is not able to compete, but FTR cut a promo last week and they said, oh yeah, we are cleared for Fight at the Fallen and we're not coming alone. What more than another guy from Asheville, North Carolina to be there?
So going back to your question, who do we see taking the belt from Jon Moxley? Adam Copeland.
Christian.
Adam Copeland. Oh. Could Christian finish off the year by cashing in this match?
Please and thank you. Please and thank you.
Could he?
He's a better heel than Moxley. He's a better heel and baby than all 4 of these guys.
That would be hilarious.
Possible.
Now, the only one that I want to see come back and beat Moxley is I want to see Bryan Danielson come back. But
yeah, we got happen this week.
You know what? This is wrestling. We never say never. It could happen. Ric Flair retired 18 times, or however many times he's held the world title. That's how many times he's retired.
And with enough money,
2 less than Terry Funk.
2 less than Terry Funk.
Is it 2 less?
I have no idea. But I think Terry Funk has the record.
I thought Terry Funk was retiring the last 20 years that he was around.
Heck, Dory hasn't even retired this year. He was wrestling about 2 months ago.
This is true.
Japan. Yeah.
This is true. Yep.
He looked like a walking zombie, but hey, he wrestled.
I don't know. I saw Cowboy Bob Orton up here in Iowa wrestling.
Cowboy Bob?
Yep.
Yeah, but what does Cowboy Bob wrestle? How does he wrestle? He's got a cast on his arm.
He hit you with a cast?
No, I don't think he had a cast on.
Superplex?
He was wearing just like a plain white t-shirt, though. So, there was that. All right. Well, I think that's all we've got for us. The way that we have predicted this, if I'm looking, there is enough variation in here that if I'm looking,
nobody's right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm looking at this, and I think it is possible that that Corey could take it all. It's not only possible that Corey could win the predictions on this.
You guys are hosed.
It's not only possible Corey could win the predictions on this. Corey could actually take the most match predictions for the entire year. It is possible. So
don't call it a comeback.
Quit it.
Who knows? It'll be interesting to see what's happening here. So. All right, I think that's all we've got for you guys. We will likely catch you in the new year. Merry Christmas for those that are going to be out there. And anything else? Any other parting shots you guys got?
If there's any future matches, I'll text you my picks.
Okay.
I want anybody that's listening to this, watching this, to drop in the comments how far off you think we are and what the correct picks would be.
Yeah. With the Continental Classic, none of us have any predictions that are similar. So
Beast Mortis wins it all.
It's funny because it's like even if Corey and I are right with Claudio winning in the Gold League, we disagree on how he's actually going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
4-way dance. All right, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Peace.